With all the plus you give into the security agencies, because now we've seen that they say seeing is believing, but if you take that back to the time where Mohammed Yusuf was caught and summarily executed, if we had not done that, if they had not done that, whoever was responsible, do you think, like the kind of information the SSS is getting from those in their custody already, wouldn't have gotten to this stage?
I think, it's an issue that has been overflowed, that perhaps without that incident of, extra-legal executions, if you call it that, perhaps we would not have seen this upsurge that we are seeing. But having said that, I think we shouldn't also overstate the underlying factors. The killings may have been the catalytic factor that pushed them to this extreme, but the underlying factors have been there all along, waiting for something to ignite them. So it might well be that if the incident of 2009 didn't happen, we might still get to this stage, perhaps not now.
So much has been said about the procedure, the methodology, but the NSA talked about investing in technology. It won't come overnight, he says. That may be suggestive as to, okay, it will take a while before that happens, but the criminal won't just wait. He'll keep going at it. So I imagine that they also will have at the back of their mind some short-term plan as well as a long-term plan to solve all of this when you want to use technology.
Yeah, investing in technology is very critical, but I would say it's not just investing money, it's also ensuring that the funds allocated are used for actually acquiring the know-how to deal with it.
That's what the challenge is.
Sure, because if you look at the annual budgets of all the agencies, beginning with the police that I'm very much at home with, police built their forensic center at Alabong nearly 20 years ago. And if you look at the budget line every year, you have a provision for equipping and maintaining that facility. And if you go there today, take a tour around about what they have on ground, there isn't much to show for it. You also have the forensic center at Oshodi. Outside the pure chemistry and basic biological tests that they conduct, nothing is going on there. In the whole of Lagos State here, we have only one forensic pathologist, which is Professor Obafunwa. And you look at the level of death and homicide, deaths that are seen to have occurred out of natural circumstances that requires inquest and one individual dealing with it. So it's not just investment as in allocation of funds. Accountability is critical here. Checking corruption, that when these funds are allocated, they will be used for what they are meant for. I think that's where we've been lacking.
Now we're talking about corruption in that regard.
Yes, but just before we go into that talk of corruption, but do you think we're beginning to get a grasp of what exactly the problem is? As in what the problem, the kind of terrorism that we are actually facing? Because I would believe that, there are different kinds of terrorism pushed by different ideologies and different needs. Do you think we're beginning to get a grasp of that?
I think I would say we are beginning to make some sense out of what is happening, perhaps with assistance, because one would say prior to the UN building bombing, we didn't discover this kind of thing. So perhaps now they are getting some foreign support that are enabling them to really do thorough investigation. But I won't jump to conclude that even at the security level, we have fully understood what we're dealing with. The security responses still need to be interrogated. We still need to look at how have we responded to this phenomenon. Do we really understand Boko Haram and other extreme groups that we are dealing with, which is perhaps where the academic community, especially those based in the Northeast, will help out here. But that's one angle. But the whole issue of underlining factors, because this phenomenon didn't just grow out of a vacuum. It has feeder communities, it has environment that allowed it to fester. I'm not sure government has looked so much in that direction.
Now, if you talk about community, you also talk about some of those who are already in the custody of the State Security Service. But as a TIS now, as a criminologist now, those who are experts in your field, is there any kind of trait do you look out for maybe you have someone in your custody? Is there a specific kind of trait you look out for so that you can now match that on any other person you get to see outside? Maybe you're talking about those who are members of a cell group or who are members of a particular gang.
Well, threat assessment has gone beyond what it used to be and what perhaps the security agencies are using. If you travel from, you're going to the airport in Abuja, or from Abuja to the town, and you see these long checkpoints, and when you get to the point where the thing is mounted, somebody looks inside your vehicle and perhaps expecting to see somebody dressed like a malam or wearing long hair to pull out. But the arrest of somebody from Imo State who converted in 2003 has just exploded that myth of profiling. Because the security agencies work what we call stereotypes. They have an image, a picture of who the criminal is, in this case, who the terrorists are. But these people are always a step ahead. You know, they know that the security agencies will be looking for particular type of people. And that is why recruiting people who come from the areas that they think are involved in this have come to the fore, which means we are dealing with a thinking group. And if they are committed to the threats that they are issuing, that this whole thing will spread across Nigeria. In any part they are targeting, they would like to draw members from that area so that those people will not be easily identified. They will mix freely within the community. And if you also look at the literature on religion about how people respond to their faith, you will begin to realize that people who are newly converted are more zealots. If you remember your Christianity, where St. Paul, after being converted, he said he thought that the kingdom of God was going to come very shortly, and that's why he advised those who are working not to work, those who are married not to marry, and he went into it. So when people are recruited newly or when they are converted, they are more zealot in their doing, and that's why they picked out this guy. So perhaps the typical picture we should be looking at for who the terrorists are and the threats we should be assessing, we should cast a wider net, because every Nigerian now is a potential target. You know, they are likely going to recruit people who will not be easily identified.